Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and I work with a lot of individuals and couples. And today I'm going to go over a topic that maybe a lot of you guys will not like, but I'm going to bring it up because I feel like at least somebody does need to hear this and it really will help. And it is why I think a lot of individuals do need to lower their standards. Now, why do I feel this way? And I'm going to also go over the dangers. Yeah, that's right. Some of the dangers and risks of having too high standards. And I will get into that later. It's going to be one of the last things I touch in this video. I'm going to try and make this video quick, but I will mention this. I work with a lot of couples. And some couples I work with that have been married for years and they're working on other issues in their relation, not really the marriage, but we might work on other issues. And so the marriage in of itself is very strong and I get to observe that. Sometimes I observe this weekly, right? More than that. Like, it really depends. If I'm having a lot of couples, I'm seeing this daily sometimes, right? Where I am seeing that the couples that have more success are more lenient with one another and have what nowadays a lot of people would say lower standards. Now, that's not to be confused and say no standards. You should have some standards, but you don't want to be an individual who has often these impossible standards or it's very difficult to reach. And I see this more with women than men. I'm just being honest. It doesn't mean that's always the truth, but I see it much more common with women than men. And some of these reasons are unhealthy. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight why some of these are not healthy. And then I'm going to go over the risks of having too high standards. Now, the first one, having high standards is a mechanism subconsciously to push people away because somewhere inside you're afraid that if you lower your standards, you will find, you're afraid of this. It's not, I don't think it's going to happen, but you're afraid that if you lower your standards, you still won't find anybody. So by you having this extremely high standard, you never have to risk being rejected. This one I see actually more men do this than women, by the way, but I see both. Women do this as well, though. They tend to have really high standards because they're really afraid what's going to happen if they lower their standards, actually. This one, the second one, a lot of people don't realize this, but I can observe this. You want someone a very particular way because, like a very particular way, because you're afraid that if you compromise, that you're worried that you're not going to be enough or that they're not going to change for the relationship, that you're going to end up caring more. So you have a really high standard so that they're as perfect as possible before the relationship starts so that you don't have to see the process of change. And ultimately you're afraid that they won't change or they're going to end up leaving you. And so you want to make sure that everything is perfect so that those things never happen. But by doing that, you put yourself at risk, right? And I'm going to talk about that in a bit. But the third one is having high standards. Too high standards tends to be a symptom of low self-esteem from my perspective and what I've seen and what I actually treat, right? I'm a therapist. I'm not a coach. I'm a therapist. I work with a lot of different types of individuals. And it's a symptom of low self-esteem typically because somewhere inside you want somebody to meet all your needs instead of having a healthy interdependent relationship. So by having these high standards, you're trying to see all your needs and making sure all of them are being met by this one particular person, and that's not healthy. And so I will mention, not everybody who has high standards are like this. It's just important to highlight maybe this is the reason why you have high standards and you want to fix that so you can find love. And I want you guys to find love and be happy. So that's why I share these things. But everyone's opinion of high standards is different. So my perspective of high standards could be completely different from yours. So please take what I'm saying as a grain of salt. Please. I'm just trying to help somebody. This video might not even be for you, but I wanted to mention what are the two dangers of having high standards. Okay. The first one is you will attract narcissists and or individuals who will be too good to be true, typically because they're trying to meet all of those things, just to trick you and manipulate you. Now, I'm sure that you have seen this before. Unfortunately, we've done a lot of case studies when I was in school where individuals get in some sort of relationship where the person they're with meets all their boxes, married them within 3 months, and then as soon as they get married, the real truth of this person comes out. That's why having high standards can be scary. Because usually if your standards are too high, a normal person usually can't meet them. So a person with some sort of personality disorder or manipulation, they want to manipulate you, so they fake it and try and meet those standards. Does that make sense? That's not always the case. You can find people who are normal who can meet your standards, but that's a risk. And the second one, and a lot of you guys might understand this as well, you may attract individuals who are emotionally unavailable. Because what happens is, a lot of these individuals who are emotionally unavailable, they are ashamed of their emotional availability. So this is not really manipulation towards you, but this is just their own fear. And so they put on a mask to be the best version of what they think they should be. And that can often be met. They can match someone's high standards, but it's only because they're really ashamed of who they are. And so by putting on this mask around other people in their life, they tend to attract people with pretty high standards and are really wanting a lot because they're ashamed. They're actually they're hiding a wound that they have. And so those are the two risks. You can attract individuals with personality disorders or people who might hurt you, and people who are emotionally unavailable. So this is why I think it might be healthy for you guys to lower your standards just a little bit and be more accommodating and be more comfortable with risk. Because love is a risk. It always is going to be. And it's important to trust that even if things don't happen the way you want it to, hopefully things will work out one way or another. I really hope that makes sense. I know a lot of people will not like this video, and I'm okay with that, but I just wanted to help you guys, okay? Go ahead and subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next one.